You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Tuesday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
I don't know if he listens, but we've got a new, what would he be, like our general manager, sales
manager? Big wig with nice office.
Brian, if you're listening, on behalf of everyone that works here, I'd like to apologize. He tried to organize a nice, do you even remember?
I do remember, but only because some other coworkers contacted and asked me if I had gone. In my defense, I had said no early, so it didn't matter if I remembered it or not, but I definitely did forget.
So this guy's like our new sales manager, and he wanted to get us all together, and he's like, oh, we'll meet at a restaurant, like we'll grab lunch on a Monday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
He said this like 2 weeks ago. Apparently, there's only like one person that showed up. And I know we shouldn't laugh. If you're listening, Brian, I'm so sorry that none of us came. But
it's more laughing at ourselves than laughing. Like, we're not laughing at him for putting this together. We're just laughing at the idea that, like, we as grown-ups need to be handheld so much that none of us remembered to go to a free food and beer opportunity.
Well, I'm just mad because I missed out on some free food, to be honest. Like, that's the biggest thing. I will say, Brian, if you are listening, Monday, 4 o'clock?
That's a tough time,
What the fuck, man?
My kids get out of school at like 3:30. It's a Monday. Let's do lunch. I'm down. If we want to keep this chill, somewhat professional, not all getting boozed up, let's do lunch. If you want it to be in the afternoon, you got to make it like 6, 7. It's got to be a supper replacement.
I'd prefer a Wednesday over I refuse to do anything that's like work-related on the weekends. Like,
sure.
You can't make me hang out with people from work on my own free time.
I think that's fair.
Fridays is okay. You got to be providing drinks if it's on a Friday.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why I say Wednesday if you're planning a work thing.
A wing Wednesday.
Yeah, that's your safe bet right there.
A workplace wing Wednesday. Let's replace the lame office pizza party we always make fun of with wing Wednesday workplace, some other W thing.
Yeah, as long as it's free, I'll be there. Just not on a Monday, not on a Friday or a Saturday.
As long as someone reminds you the day of or day before.
Them's the rules, Brian.
I was so entitled.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like some sausage? Sausages.
It's one of those songs I can never not giggle.
Don't forget to do something for your old man, your papa, whatever you want to call him. Father's Day is upon us this weekend.
That's right, yes. And hopefully, if you're a dad, hopefully you get spoiled at least a little bit.
Unless you win for a pack of smokes, then.
Well, then you're not a dad anymore. You left your dad privileges at home when you went to get the milk.
Sure. I read online that apparently in the English language, there are over 400 terms, or I guess slang for saying dad, or terminology for your dad kind of thing.
400?
I know. I was trying to think, and like, is there really that many? Like,
I think with my dad, I maybe only used like 3 or 4. My kids have just I think I was daddy when they were really little. Now I'm just dad.
Yeah, daddy's been ruined by the internet, to be honest.
100%. Absolutely, yeah. I can't think of 400, though. I mean, I got a few I could think of. But
want to try and put 30 seconds on the clock and...
well, see how many we can rattle off?
How many dad terminologies or slang dads we can come up with? Slang dad is really fun.
Slang dad. That's not my dad. That's my slang dad.
That's my slang dad. All right, okay. I'll put 30 seconds on the clock. We'll see how many we can come up with here. All right. 3, 2, 1. Dad, obviously.
Pops.
Daddy.
Pop.
Father.
Papa.
Dada.
Pappy.
Fodder, if you're Newfie.
Fajer, if you watched Austin Powers.
Old man.
Papa Bear.
Poppy.
Daddy-o.
Yeah. Sire.
Old man.
Stepdad, I guess.
Big guy.
Stepfather.
Padre.
Creator.
Poppy.
Co-founder.
Man of the house.
Male parent.
Guardian.
Sperm donor if you don't like your dad. I feel like you could actually do a bunch for deadbeat dads.
Honestly, yeah. It feels like if you like your dad, there's like a good handful of like the usual suspects. And then if you want to get disrespectful, you can go from there.
Assistant of conception. I've heard people even just refer to it as my biological father before.
I actually, since my old man went for his pack of smokes, I have definitely used my bio dad before.
Yeah. Or whatever their first name is. It's not dad, it's Greg.
Oh, yeah. As far as my kids know, like, they have grandmas and grandpas and Ken.
And he's not associated with Barbie.
No.
He bailed on her, too.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Have you seen the latest video of Sebastian Bach spazzing out on a fan?
I have not, but when you say latest, how recent? Because I feel like this happens all the time.
Last week in Detroit, Sebastian noticed a fan wearing a Skid Row shirt in the crowd.
To a Sebastian Bach show? How dare he?
Listen to the rant here.
I'm fascinated by this shirt right here. This is Skid Row with what number singer? 7, 8, 9? What number is that?
Just talking smack.
Huh? Is that replacement number 7? Or number 8? Or number 9?
He keeps going.
And before you say, well, they don't have 9, I can f***ing name every f***ing one of them.
That's not the flex you think it is.
It's very healthy.
Is that the guy from Dragon Force or TNT or whatever the f***?
No, this is the best part.
Embarrassing. You guys missed the 80s or what?
Then he cues up a Skid Row song.
No! Come on!
No, that's the best part is I don't know if that's ironic or not. Like
did he do that on purpose? Did he call an audible because he was talking about Skid Row the way that we'll sometimes change a song because we're talking about it? Or was it always the plan? And it's just proving the point that this man is so stuck on Skid Row that he can never move past it.
Oh my God. The guy blasts the crowd for wearing the shirt of the band that essentially gave him the career. Then it has an entire set just filled with those songs. It's so funny. Like, I don't know whether to like hate Sebastian Bach sometimes or just be in love with him. Like,
I mean, I guess like if the guy in the crowd is wearing a Skid Row shirt that has the band members and not Sebastian Bach on it, it is kind of a weird shirt to wear to that show.
Yeah.
But
I guess it's like looking out in the crowd and seeing your ex all the time, right? Right? That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, but only if your ex is the only reason anybody's in the building in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not famous without Skid Row.
It'd be like if you were like a lady who used to date John Deere and then you married another farmer who only uses John Deere products. It'd probably grind your gears a bit, right? Like,
it's just fun to think that maybe there's like 3 people in that crowd that only know him from Trailer Park Boys and don't know what all the hype is about.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've always had this idea that Sebastian Bach was not acting in Trailer Park Boys.
That he was just a weirdo who loves trains?
That's just the way it is. He's a weirdo. He's a dick. He hates 2 things. He hates Skid Row and he hates Patrick Swayze.
Honestly, so far 50% of that feels pretty obvious. So yeah,
Sebastian Bach seems like he would not be a fun dude to hang out with.
I feel like he could be fun, but you'd always be on edge waiting for that one thing that's going to set him off.
Yeah.
Like, you'd never want to put the radio on around him just in case a Skid Row song came on.
Yeah.
Because then you'd just be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
If I had to have a Mount Rushmore of the worst hangs of all time, it would be Sebastian Bach. In a room together, Sebastian Bach, Gene Simmons, Chevy Chase, and Ellen DeGeneres.
Nightmare smoke rotation right there. Absolute nightmare. Throw Elon Musk in there just to make the vibes even weirder. And you're just like, I don't want to be here anymore.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I need your help. I need you to stop me from spending like $400 to $500 on a 3D printer I absolutely don't need.
Is that there? That's it? I thought they were way more expensive than that.
So
honestly.
you can get cheaper than that. You can get them for as little as $100. You can print like little trinkets and stuff like that, or you can get the $1,000, $2,000 ones if you want to like print your own Iron Man costume.
What are you looking at getting a 3D printer for?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I know that me and the kids are just going to use it to print like goofy, nerdy, fun toy type things.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to like in my own head rationalize coming up with like there's a piece on my lawnmower where like you put the side panel on and it blows the clippings out.
Yeah.
And there's a small little plastic piece that broke off on there, and I have to keep reattaching it now.
I mean, I see videos on like TikTok and stuff all the time of people using 3D printers for like home renos and tools and stuff like that.
It's just to fix little things like that, and I'm trying to convince myself that that's why I need it, but I don't think I do.
Okay, realistically, what's the first thing you would actually do with a 3D printer?
The first thing I would do is print that lawnmower part. The second thing I would do is my oldest and I were looking at how to print the crown from Loki, the TV show.
Okay, we got different mindsets. Because if I got my hands on a 3D printer, I'm not going to lie, dude.
Yeah.
First thing I'm doing, I'm scanning my genitals.
What do you do with them?
I don't know. It's kind of like having the copier machine, and you're like, I want to scan my ass.
Yeah.
Like it's the exact same thing. I don't know. I just want to see it.
Just have a little bag full of bags, so to speak, printed out.
Just at least once. Like I'm not gonna have a bunch of them.
Go
But at least
around the
once.
office and leave them on people's desks.
Make a great Mother's Day gift. I don't know. Like,
Isn't that the thing, though? Like, we try to convince ourselves with these things, like, oh, well, it'll pay for itself eventually. I'll buy this thing, and I'll use it so much, and eventually I'll be saving money, when in reality, there are very few things you could learn how to do that will actually save you money.
I mean, if you're built pretty equipped, you could probably make a lot of money with the 3D printer. Just being honest with you.
I think the plastics you use for the $400 to $500 printers are a little too rigid for what you might be considering.
You gotta at least try it once if you have a 3D printer. I feel like if you have a 3D, I feel like everybody who owns a 3D printer
has at least thought about it.
Has at least thought about it or done it.
Yeah, has at least pondered. Yeah, like I saw a video yesterday where a guy had done a full 3D scan of his head so that when he prints off helmets and stuff, he can make sure that they are proper size to fit his own skull.
Sure.
You're saying you take the same technology
just with your other head.
Lower.
Yeah. Curiosity kills the cat sometimes, man.
I just want you to know, if I do end up buying a 3D printer, you're not welcome in my house anymore.
You're going to try it yourself. Don't worry. It's in your mind now.
That's the problem, is now it's all I can think about.
I know I'm not alone on that.
The good news is I could still buy one of those small printers. It would be
for sure, dude. I'm right there with you.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I appreciate the people who texted in with things that they would print if they got a 3D printer that aren't graphic, so to speak. Like someone who texted in and said, I would print like a little coin to use in shopping carts when you go to certain grocery stores.
Oh, that's super smart.
Or someone who said, I had my big toe amputated. It would be kind of funny to print a replacement. But then that same person also said, then I would probably print the junk thing that you said.
Everyone agrees with me that you'd have to try it out. Even the few people on the text line that do have 3D printers say at least they've thought about it.
They've at least given it a consideration with all the technology out there. And this is my thing, is like, I'm trying to convince myself that I could save money, that I could make things that would be helpful around my home if I had a 3D printer. And all of the text messages are just like, you could make fun toys or weird things, or you could print your own genitals. And it's like, this is not helping me believe that this is a strong purchase for my household.
I feel like getting a 3D printer is kind of like getting a home gym. Like, the idea sounds good on paper.
Yeah. I mean, as far as hobbies go that could save you money, if you have the dedication, home gym is up there as one of the best ones. Like, if you can convince yourself to actually use the equipment day in and day out for more than hanging laundry, in the long run, you can save a lot of money.
Yeah, it just becomes the most expensive thing to hang your hockey equipment on, honestly.
What do you think, like, in terms of things that you can pick up on, like, a hobby level? What is the greatest one that could save you money in the long run? Like, I feel like if you took a hobby interest in plumbing, and we're able to like fix your own sinks, fix your own toilets,
Well,
fix
any
your own
trade,
showers.
really. Plumbing, electrical, anything like that. Yeah.
Electrical scares me. I think you can save money by doing your own electrical instead of hiring somebody, but you can also find yourself unconscious on the floor.
Let me backtrack. Electrical shouldn't be a hobby. It should be something that you're 100% sure of.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tackle that clogged sink in your kitchen with just a couple YouTube videos and some know-how.
Yeah.
Electrical, you probably want an expert.
I'm at the point in life though where it's like I'm fairly good with like doing stuff at home, but
Yeah.
then there's some things where I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to pay someone for this
Not
at this
worth
point.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, small stuff like putting in, like, the laminate and stuff like that, I'm fine. But, yeah, you're right. Like, anything electrical,
Yeah.
screw that. But if I was an electrician, I mean, that'd be clutch, dude.
You
Like,
do it for yourself, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I feel like it's not even just like in terms of a dangerous job. It's in terms of like what I just don't want to do. Like you're talking about things that you'll pay someone else to do versus you'll do yourself. I don't want to paint any room in my house. I have no interest in doing it. It's not dangerous. It's not particularly difficult. You don't have to you have to be skilled, but you don't have to have like years and years of education.
Well,
to
there's
do
that
it.
old saying, like, this is like watching paint dry. Like,
Yeah.
The whole experience is, ugh.
I do wish that I could do my own flooring. And I see like the stuff that you can buy from stores.
Yeah.
And I see the videos of people talking about how easy it is. But I just look at it and I look at the floor of my kitchen and I go, I'm gonna make a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess that up.
Well, they always say like a home renovation is like a couple's like biggest test.
Yeah.
I feel like a home renovation where you're actually trying to do it yourself is even tougher. Right?
That's right. It's one thing to have to suffer through your home environment being invaded by people doing work for you. If you and your significant other can do all your own repairs and not want to throttle each other with the tools you're using to do them,
Yeah.
you are a forever couple.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I got an early Father's Day present.
Oh, yeah?
And it is the ultimate Father's Day present. If you are in the market for a Father's Day present, I highly recommend. Pardon me. I got a robe.
You got a new robe?
Not even a new. This is the first time I've ever owned a robe.
Dude, having a robe is a game changer. I got one a few months ago. Walking around the house in that thing.
Oh, bro,
a power move.
I cannot wait to go take the garbage bins down to the end of the driveway on a windy day. It's going to be great. I'm going to become a menace in my neighborhood.
Dude, it's so nice, like sitting on the couch and you're like, nobody knows that I'm just ass naked under this thing right now.
You know what the worst part is? Because you know me, pro wrestling guy. The whole time I'm just walking around with the Ric Flair music in my head. Just that bum, bum.
Just wooing around the house, strutting.
Woo!
Yeah,
Kids
yeah.
are looking at me like, we regret this decision.
You know what? Is that the first person you think of when you think of robes, though?
Oh, absolutely. Man had a vast collection of robes.
You think of Ric Flair. Ric Flair's the guy, though?
I would say it's Ric Flair. And then what was the didn't Liberace have a lot of robes? I
Damn.
feel like he was like inspired.
See, I feel like for me, it goes Hugh Hefner, Big Lebowski,
Oh.
then probably Ric Flair, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I can give you Hugh Hefner above Ric Flair. Big Lebowski's a good call. But he just had the one.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a single rhinestone on it.
I think out of the three of those fellas,
Yeah.
I personally,
You
I relate more to
identify
the dude. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, we like to think that in a robe we'd look like a Ric Flair or a Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
But deep down we all look like the dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, Hugh Hefner always had the robe, the cob pipe, and two girls on each side.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that in my lifetime.
Is Hugh Hefner the first person you think of when you think of someone smoking a pipe?
Probably, yeah.
Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh, true. Yeah, I could see that.
Also the first person I think of when I think of spinach. And the last, now that I think about it.
Yeah,
I don't think the list goes any further.
I was gonna
than
say
that.
maybe like a fitness instructor at Good Life or something. I don't know.
Just get a generic mental image of
Yeah.
somebody who's kind of in shape.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to think, like, what else does Popeye wear? He's got the little sailor hat.
Yeah.
I can't really think of any. Tugboat. Now we're back into professional wrestling.
Sure.
For wearing sailor hats.
Striped shirts, I guess, too.
Ooh, striped shirts has got to be Waldo, right?
Oh, true.
Waldo, or may I present the Hamburglar for striped shirts?
That's a deep reference, yeah.
I mean, other than that, now you're into thinking about, like, what was the referee that never wore a helmet?
Carrie Frazier?
Carrie Frazier.
Is that it?
Yeah. Wearing stripes, right? That counts.
Different vertical versus horizontal stripes matter, I guess?
That's right. Yeah.
I am mad I didn't think of Freddy Krueger for the striped shirt. Someone just texted in.
Oh, yeah, okay. He definitely deserves to be up higher than Carrie Frazier.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
We're going to do a little wavelength test this morning to see if we're on the same train of thought.
It started this morning when we were talking about how a robe is one of the most, like, freeing articles of clothing you can wear. And I said, obviously, when I put on a robe, I feel like Ric Flair. And you countered with...
I feel like the dude. I feel like Big Lebowski or Hugh Hefner over Ric Flair.
Hugh Hefner also definitely rocked a hell of a robe. So I'm going to run down. You guys texted in some stuff. We put together a list of different articles of clothing. I will say the clothing. You give your answer. I'll give my answer. We'll see where we're on the same page.
Okay.
Vest.
Mr. Burns.
Oh, because of the song.
See my vest, see my vest.
See, and I went Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Always rock that little black vest.
That's the obvious answer, yeah.
Yeah. Suspenders.
Suspenders. Weirdly enough, I feel like Paris Hilton.
Really?
Yeah, like the overall suspenders, like kind of thing from the Sweet Life. I don't know why I think of her.
Here's our first age gap. Yeah. I went Steve Urkel from Family Matters.
See, I guess I'm thinking more overalls, I guess.
Maybe, yeah. Ball cap.
Fred Durst.
Gotta be Fred Durst, right?
Fred Durst.
Especially if it's backwards.
Yeah.
If it's facing forwards, I maybe think like Jay-Z with his Yankee cap, but it's still mostly Fred Durst. Tank top.
Tank top?
Yeah.
Ooh, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. I had the same one on my list. Yeah, from Die Hard, crawling through the vents. Gloves.
O.J. Simpson.
Oh, that's a good pick. I don't know why, because it's only one glove, but I went to Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're both one glove kind of guys, actually.
That's right. You're right, actually. Bandana.
Bandana, I feel like you got to go Hulk Hogan or Macho Man, right?
I was actually thinking Bret Michaels from Poison.
Really?
Always rocks the bandana.
Oh, yeah, I guess
he does. He's playing Rock on the River this year. I feel like he's going to be wearing a bandana the whole time.
Maybe that's just because his hairline's been going.
Well, don't tell him that. Glasses.
Glasses? Oh, why am I blanking on glasses right now? Oh, Velma.
Oh, from
my
Scooby-Doo.
glasses. My glasses.
Mine's Macaulay Culkin. He can't see without his glasses.
They both can't see without their glasses.
Right. What about sunglasses?
Sunglasses at night, dude. Corey Hart.
Oh, I go Bret Hart. Used to have those big wraparounds.
Hearts, but different families.
That's right.
Yeah.
Leather jacket.
Leather jacket. I think you got to go Arnold Schwarzenegger on that.
Oh, I went the Fonz.
Oh,
Happy Days?
Yeah, that's because you're old, though.
Kilt.
Dropkick Murphys, I guess.
Okay, I went Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Sneakers.
Sneakers, that's got to be Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan for sure. Fedora.
Frank Sinatra?
I went Dick Tracy.
Oh, okay.
Beard.
Ooh, Joe Thornton.
Oh, I went ZZ Top, but I think that's probably because we're running all those commercials for the ZZ Top special this weekend on Sunday. Top hat.
Oh, easy. Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I didn't think about Lincoln. I was like, this is obviously Slash.
Yeah. See, I didn't even think about Slash.
Lincoln's top hat is much classier.
Honest Abe, dude.
Couple more. What about plaid? Like just wearing plaid.
Either like Mick Foley or Eddie Vedder.
Oh, I went Al Borland from Home Improvement.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And let's wrap up with this because there's a lot of ways you can go with this one. What about face paint?
Dark guy.
I went Insane Clown Posse.
Well,
I owned 4 of their albums at one point, okay?
Where my juggalos at? Give us a whoop whoop at least.
Whoop whoop.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
I read an interesting story yesterday that says that we as people may be regrowing our attention spans.
I don't believe that.
This is where I'm struggling. Let me just explain. So they're saying that we're seeing websites like TikTok and Instagram, who sort of built themselves around these short form vertical videos, starting to expand. I think with TikToks, you can upload up to 10 minutes plus. They're saying Instagram, for some accounts, you can already upload 15-minute long videos as they go trying to stretch out the attention spans of people, because I guess people are starting to become reliant on videos to teach them how to do things. So YouTube videos, TikTok,
nobody's reading
Instagram
anymore is like the big thing now.
That's just it. We completely obliterated our attention span for reading books. Now we're starting to rely on videos, and they're saying because of that, people are starting to kind of crawl their way out of the old like Vine 6-second video mentality. And I'm curious, 762-555, whether you at home believe that to be the case. Do you find yourself watching longer stuff again? Because I'm kind of with you. It still feels like when you see someone on their phone, they're just swiping those short videos over and over
Well,
again.
the most annoying sound of all time is when someone's scrolling through social media and you can just hear like 3 seconds of a video every time they scroll. Oh,
Right.
That drives me insane. I catch myself though, if a video gets an ad, I don't care if I'm like halfway into a 10-minute, like 20-minute video, whatever. I'm bailing, dude.
Yeah,
like, you lost me.
There's no pot commitment, right? Like you'd think like, oh, I made it 15 minutes through a 20-minute video. You'd think I'd stick around. No, if I see that little wheel that's like ad starts in 3, 2, 1, I go next.
I don't know if anyone else does this. I feel super embarrassed just even when I'm by myself, where it's like I'm on my phone and then say I'll open up Facebook, I'll close it, and then all of a sudden I'll open it again and I'll be like, was I just here? It's like the 2024 version of walking into the kitchen of being like, what did I come in here for?
Open the fridge.
Yeah.
So what was I gonna grab here? Yeah, no, but it's social media apps over and over again.
Or even like the odd time when like I do actually read something. Do you ever like read a full chapter of a book and then all of a sudden you're like, but what did I just read? Like, was I abducted by aliens for 10 pages? Like,
I find that happens all the time when I'm like reading articles and stuff, looking for things that we'll talk about here on the show, because I want to sound like I vaguely know what I'm talking about. And I'll read a paragraph for the article, and then I'll start on the next paragraph, and it'll reference something. I'll be like, well, they never talked about the, Oh, I just read exactly that thing. Mm-hmm. I guess I'll read it 2 or 3 more times to make it stick in my brain.
So I don't believe it, man. I feel like attention spans are like at an all-time low. Hell, I mean, just talk to anyone and you can see, like, if you don't have them in the first minute, we've probably already lost people just talking about this.
100%. At some point when we started talking about attention spans and reading and things like that, at least a handful of people listening to this show picked up their phone and started watching YouTube shorts.
I almost need to go like, just to make sure like people are paying attention right now.
I guarantee you just scared the hell out of somebody.
This is the Brock and Delby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. Now, today's word is coquetry. Yep, coquetry. Coquetry. Coquetry.
What?
Anyways, it's flirty act or behavior. You can get in trouble for that today. Anyways, have a great one. Cheers her up.
All right, I found the actual pronunciation. Let's see.
Coquetry.
Coquetry.
And it's like flirty?
Like,
being flirty. So like when
so it's like flirtatious behavior.
When you were doing your parody song of "Let's Get It On" and staring me dead in the eyes, were you being coquetry?
I was being a little bit of a coquetry. Just being a little bit of a coquetry today. Courtney's out of town. I'm being a little bit of a coquetry.
You know I'm gonna put this in the podcast, right? Just so we're all clear.
Hey. There's nothing wrong with being coquetry. It's if you go past the coquetry.
Oh, I see. I feel like you and your significant other got to be on the same page about your coquetriness.
Oh, yeah.
Your coquetritude.
I think there's a lot of people when they're at work, they get coquetry. You know?
Oh, for sure. I mean, even the fact that a phrase work husband, work wife, the fact that those phrases exist implies that workplace coquetry coquetry is a thing.
Yeah. But sometimes coquetry can be a lie. Like if you go to a gentleman's facility, that coquetriness is absolute BS.
That coquetriness is not. I love that we're just inventing new ends to this word.
Yeah.
That coquetriness is not aimed at you. It is aimed at your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
They are flirting with your wallet 100%.
Yeah.
Being coquetry with your bank account.
You're being coaxed into their coquetriness.
Double word of the day, baby.
Say that 3 times fast.
Go ahead.
Coquetry. Am I even saying it right anymore?
Coquetry.
Coquetry.
Use it wherever you can today, all right?
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. With all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.